Good morning, wrestling fans, and welcome to PWR Today, Thursday morning, April 21st, 2022. The man they call Meathead, Matthew Thomas. Good morning, Matthew. Welcome back to Thursday mornings.
Hey, thank you. This has been like a assorted grab bag this week, or a box of chocolates, as your friend Forrest would say,
Life is like a box of chocolates.
Or something else like just random, like just a random. Think about the most random thing you can think of, and that is it. That's what this week has been.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, we had been a little discombobulated after coming back from Dallas, but, you'd think we'd settle in. Nope, this week's been just all over the place, so we're getting back there. But getting back to business is our friends at Collar and Elbow. I saw some new merch pop on their store today.
Ooh, have you? I need to fire up my web browser to www.collarandelbowbrand.com. And when I do, and when I buy that new merch, you know what I'm going to be? I'm going to be the owner of a proud 10% dollar bill. That's right, because I'm going to save 10% when I enter promo code Linda K, LINDA KAY. And I think they just mail that 10% bill right to you at collarandelbowbrand.com.
The one that they got out there right now that looks kind of cool, but I don't always like a lot of stuff on my shirt. I don't like big, bold graphics that are going to distract me. Like if I even look down for a second.
Take it back. I'm pretty sure I've seen you with various condiments on your shirt.
No, you've seen me. No, you've seen me. The biggest shirt I've ever had to be the Festus face.
Yeah.
Right. I normally don't wear big stuff on the shirt like that, but they got this new Tiger Driver 98 shirt that's out there, and they got Sunset Flip as well, with like a sunset in the background doing a sunset flip. So
is that the one? There was a sunset flip that they'd had in the past that almost looked like a mellow yellow logo. Was that?
Yeah, it might be the same one. I don't know. But Wrestling's Not Dead in a triangle. That one looks really good too. So, Wrestling is for the Children, the yellow one with the Wu-Tang logo in the front. So our friends at collarandelbowbrand.com, 10% off using the promo code Linda K, LINDA KAY. Alrighty. Well, we've got some news that we want to talk about, and it's in a different vein than we're used to talking about. Matthew, are you paying attention to Johnny Depp trial?
I've seen various pictures and I've seen various quotes. It's one of those things that it's kind of on the outside of my realm of things that Matthew knows is going on. You've got basically the little circle. It's like one of those Venn diagrams.
It's like in your old area. Yeah, it's in your old town where it's going on.
Ooh, is it really?
Fairfax.
Ooh, didn't know what was going on in the Commonwealth.
Yeah, it's in the Commonwealth of Virginia, Fairfax, Virginia. Johnny Depp has resumed his testimony in his defamation case against his ex-wife, Amber Heard. For those of you that don't know who Amber Heard is, she's the one that played alongside Jason Momoa in Aquaman.
My goodness.
Now, there was allegations that she beat Johnny, and she was very ultra-aggressive and violent towards Johnny Depp. Johnny said, quote, he wanted to try to make it work. Now, you're asking yourself, what the hell has this got to do with wrestling? Well, to tell you what it's got to do with wrestling. Amber Heard claims Johnny Depp was insanely jealous, right? Texts show that she was upset. She was at a rap party in November of 2014 all night. Meanwhile, Amber Heard on Twitter, there's a picture of her out there at a rap party in November of 2014. And do you see who she's sitting in the lap of? A very close, dear personal friend of the PWR. He's big. He's sexy. He's Kevin Nash. Amber Heard and Kevin Nash at the Magic Mike XXL rap party November 4th of 2014. Was Johnny Depp jealous? Was he reasonably insecure, suspicious, or unsure? Big Sexy getting out there and becoming part of the Johnny Depp trial.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I don't have any pictures in Kevin Nash's lap. I do have pictures of me in Santa Claus's lap, though. Like, I've got multiple ones of those.
Ironic. All right, so our good, dear, close personal friend, Big Sexy Kev, Big Kevin Nash, trending on Twitter, and I had no idea why, but you know what? It's pretty funny. Let's go to a couple of other notes here. Formerly of WWE's NXT brand and Raw brand, and now part of Control Your Narrative, Killer Kross and Scarlett eloped got married, flew out to Alaska, got married on a glacier, and arrived by helicopter, and then wrestled the next day.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations to both of them on their new nuptials. And yeah, that's a first for me. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody getting married on a glacier. I'm sure it's been done before, but that's the first that it has, come to my attention. And now it's one of those things in that diagram I was telling you about that I know.
Let me ask you a question. Do you remember when RVD won the Money in the Bank, cashed in his briefcase at ECW One Night Stand, and became the the simultaneous WWE champion and ECW champion? Do you remember that?
Oh my goodness, you said RVD. For some reason, I heard R-Truth when you said that.
No,
and
RVD,
I was drawing
Robert
absolute
Van
blank.
Dam.
Absolutely, I do. This is probably 06-ish, right?
Around that.
Yeah.
The reason I bring that up is because shortly after that, in a car with Sabu, they got pulled over, arrested for smoking marijuana, for doing what they were doing, and RVD was stripped of the title. Okay. Now WWE is celebrating pot smoking.
Yeah.
RK Bro 420. On the back, it's a picture of the RK Bro logo. It says 420 says, "I just smoked your ass."
So let me ask you this, and I don't know the answer to this question. Are they still testing for weed?
I have no idea, but they're selling weed shirts now.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing.
I mean, let's go back to The Godfather. Didn't The Godfather say, "Let's roll the fatty for this pimp daddy"? I mean, they thought it was okay then, but then somehow they got into this uptight world where they're, "Oh, no, marijuana, no good, sir."
Yeah. It's cool if they can make money off of it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it boils down to. Yeah. And that was and here's the thing too, Meathead. Let's go back to the RVD thing. That was, I take that back. Wasn't a test, right? That was an arrest and a news story. And
it was a news story.
Looking at that, it's like, it seems like it was more of a reaction to bad press than it was for him necessarily popping for anything.
Right. So, I don't know how RVD feels about it, that they got a 420 shirt out there now, but I'm sure he's in a better place. Obviously he's moved on. He's got Katie, his wife. They're doing great things.
Yeah. He's not dead. Just let me clarify that. RVD being in a better place doesn't mean he's deceased.
That's why it continued on with other living actions that he had. The big announcement from AEW last night before we get into Dynamite is a new pay-per-view on Sunday, June 26th at 8 p.m. Eastern, live from Chicago, Illinois, will be called Forbidden Door. And it is AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling. They're going to do a mega show.
Interesting side note, Meathead. This will not be the first time that your pay-per-view bill has said Forbidden Door, right? You bought that in like your purchase history in the past, right?
Yeah, sure. And it comes in a brown paper bag, the bill. It is.
Yeah. Now this was kind of what we speculated. We were throwing, different hypotheses, and this kind of seemed to be where the rumors were leading. And, I knew I had mentioned possibly beefing up the pay-per-view lineup. They did that with a super show at the United Center the month after Double or Nothing, correct?
I got to tell you, their promotional picture that they put out for Forbidden Door, you might not have caught this right away. Do you know what it is? It's a bunch of circles like Doctor Strange.
Ooh, interesting.
And there's pictures of Japan in the center and then pictures of Chicago on the outside. So the Forbidden Door, like Doctor Strange, can open up different, realities and all that. So
let me ask you this. This is near your neck of the woods. Are you going to walk through the Forbidden Door?
Here's the thing, Matthew, and this is why I want to get into the conversations about Dynamite in just a moment. We mentioned this last week, and we've been saying this for a while. While the AEW fans, they popped on TV, right? Yeah. I'm a regular wrestling fan, and I have no idea who the fuck is in New Japan Pro Wrestling other than Jay White.
Yeah, same. And here's the thing, too, where this differs in 2022 versus maybe a handful of years ago or two handfuls of years ago or whatever. I feel like we are so saturated on a weekly basis with content to watch. I don't necessarily feel the need to go and do homework to get myself ready for this pay-per-view to know
And I'm
who they're
not
going to
going
talk
to.
about. Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to.
And I think there's that segment that kind of falls into that, like us, you know?
Mhm. So there's nothing wrong with knowing it. There's nothing wrong with being excited about it. I don't know if I'll be watching it,
Yeah.
but when we do have our draft, if we have talents that are participating, I will pay attention. And I'll tell you what, that's a Sunday pay-per-view. We'll talk about it Monday morning, and we'll go over the results.
Or maybe somebody, i.e. me, goes really outside of the box and drafts just a New Japan roster.
Well, it's not like you ever wanted to win again. So AEW, your job now is to get a fan like myself, or a fan like Matthew, or a fan like Linda, and educate us on who the hell these people are. Because I have no effing clue.
Yeah, like whoever Adam Cole mentioned, the fans were excited
No clue.
for his match. So, if I'm going to go by the fans,
I even saw a picture of it later, but I still don't know who the hell he is.
Yeah. So now let me ask you this, Meathead. Are we the young kids watching WWE trying to figure out what all the fuss about Cody is?
Kind of. And that's not our job to go out and dig and figure it out. You need to. I'm watching an American television show. If you're going to bring in talent on this TV show, you need to tell me who they are. Yeah. Give me a video package or something. So AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling, Sunday, June 26th, live on pay-per-view from the United Center in Chicago. It's the Forbidden Door pay-per-view. All right.
Hey, I'll throw this out there. I told you I don't want to do homework on it, but here's what I would watch. I would watch JR tells me who these people are. Just give me, it can be a 30-minute special or a 1 hour or a 5-hour special.
Pop just something up on TNT for the weekend.
JR in normal, just JR terms, breaks down who these people are and why we should be excited about it.
There you go. I'll take that. AEW Dynamite last night. We had Hook debuting on Dynamite, even though he's wrestled already in Dark and he's wrestled on Rampage. Hook had a match last night on Dynamite also. And you know what? As I'm getting ready to watch the show, I'm preparing a little something to eat so I can sit down and watch. And I'm like, you know what? This feels like they're going to open up with Punk and Dustin. It has to be. Well, there we go.
And I bet you were predictable. I bet you were so excited when you stood up for that. You spilled some of your Knight's popcorn.
No, I didn't have any Knight's popcorn. Actually, I had lots of matzah, chicken Alfredo pizza with mushrooms.
Not bad.
So CM Punk and Dustin Rhodes open up the show, and you know what? I know who these people are, and I know who Dustin is. I kind of dropped a little bit on you when we were off air before we came on air here. Dustin Rhodes has been wrestling so long. I mean, we don't think about this, but Dustin Rhodes wrestled before the Attitude Era.
And he was one of the precursors to the Attitude Era. Not even talking about Goldust. I'm talking about him parting ways from WCW with that blading in the back of a trailer.
Yeah. So Dustin Rhodes has been wrestling for a long, long time. So Dustin Rhodes, CM Punk, and you know what? Just absolute respect in the middle of the ring. The winner of the match, CM Punk.
Let me just throw something semi on topic here, talking about that match. So I remember that WCW pay-per-view, it was uncensored or wherever that happened at. We did not get it on pay-per-view, but this was big satellite years, okay? And I remember that pay-per-view started. I wanted to see what opened that show, and I did the thing where I went up channel, down channel, up channel, down channel to see the scrambled feed. And I've only ever done that on professional wrestling.
Yeah, only professional wrestling. You never did that on porn. Okay, I understand.
Yeah, that's talking about it. It's a professional wrestling pay-per-view channel. But yeah, I remember watching the freaking outline of that match there. But yeah, I thought this was an outstanding match here. Probably two of your best in-ring technician/psychology technicians on display here. 2 weeks in a row. I think Punk opened up last week, if I'm not mistaken. The storytelling in these Punk matches are great. Punk was really selling an injury last week. This week, Dustin was selling the injury. And I got to give JR some commentary credit. They open up by JR, and this doesn't happen enough in professional wrestling. In order to keep that continued suspension of disbelief, they don't treat us like we're that intelligent of a viewer a ton. JR comes out and he says, yeah, Punk should win. That's where the smart money is.
Right.
But I've seen stranger things happen. And then the jaded wrestling fan, you're thinking, wait a minute, is he trying to set me up for something? They made me believe that Dustin had a chance multiple times in that match. These two put on an outstanding clinic last night, in my opinion.
As Punk is on the top of the ramp, getting ready to go in the back, AEW World Champion Adam Page comes out, and they just stare each other down. Does Page Punk happen at the pay-per-view at the end of May, or are we waiting?
Yeah, we're getting at the end of May, I think. I think they have hit us with it enough here recently, and they could have somebody ready overnight. I mean, AEW's done a great job with that, but as far as a next successor, next viable contender, Punk is definitely it. And this is a matchup that I could see it go either way. I mean, I could legitimately believe a CM Punk title reign in AEW, and I could give you reasons as to why that is smart business. On the other hand, I think a Punk losing to Page would be a huge stepping stone in Adam Page's career, and that's what I would want to see happen. But I think this is a match that is a big match that you could really you really don't know what direction they're going in.
We'll get to the Wardlow stuff coming into building when his match comes up here, but the next match that we had was Blackpool Combat Club with some really new, good-looking gear. I really like the stuff Yuta had on and the stuff that Moxley had on, forged in combat. It was amazing. Blackpool Combat Club taking on Brock Anderson, Dante Martin, and Lee Moriarty. Now, if JR were going to say somebody should win here, this should have been the BCC rolling over Anderson, Martin, and Moriarty, and that's exactly what we got.
Yeah, you've been talking about it for the better part of 2 years now, but I think if there's ever any time you needed those trio titles, it's probably right now. People really, I think, like the aesthetics of these guys in the ring at the same time, simultaneously beating down people.
Looked absolutely amazing. The color cam in the back, and Adam thinks that next week they should do a challenge because they've all lost matches. A 10-man tag to remind everyone how dangerous that the Undisputed Elite are. Here comes Tony Khan. He makes the announcement. He welcomes the president of New Japan Pro Wrestling to the show, but Adam Cole interrupts. I thought this was unique. After they mentioned the pay-per-view, he said he's going to face Ishii. The crowd goes banana, and I go, who? What?
Yeah.
Who? Okay, cool.
You know what I was hoping to see? I was hoping to see Cole say, you know what, while you've been doing all this negotiating, I've been doing some negotiating of my own, and I've got an HBO Max deal for AEW.
I would have loved that. He also said he had a special friend that was in the building and wanted to say hello. Jay White's music hits. The only reason I know who Jay White is, because he's already been on AEW Dynamite and Rampage, and I've already seen him on Impact. Otherwise, I'd have no clue who the F this guy was either.
Yeah. You need to make it more accessible. You need to get more backstory. And here's the other thing. I don't think they're doing it, and this is probably far out of left field, but you don't want it to feel like they're trying to exclude people, i.e., oh, you don't get this reference. You don't know who this person is. WWE.
You limit your audience doing that.
Yeah, you do. And you can say whatever you want to about WWE's continual video packages, show to show, pay-per-view to pay-per-view. But that is one thing about that WWE product throughout the years. They make sure you know the relevant backstory you need to enjoy the matchup that's coming.
So the Butcher and Wardlow. So Wardlow, when he got to the building today, was stopped at the gates. He was made to put on handcuffs, have security follow him around by smart Mark Sterling. And Wardlow, very calm. He was excited to get into the ring and just start pounding on somebody. The Butcher as a singles competitor, I respect that guy. Now, the 2 fingers to the throat thing, that's a Butcher thing, and it doesn't, work for me. But it's still, that guy's, he's doing those drop down to the knee moves. I do that in my little practicing on the side. I can do 1 to 2, and that's all I got, man. I'm gassed already. So this dude, he does it as part of his entrance.
Maybe you need to train with the Butcher.
That's right. Have the Blade yelling at me while the Butcher's showing me what to do. So it was a excuse me. It was a solid match. Wardlow obviously was going to get the win in this. Now, MJF and Sean Spears were up in the one of the boxes, turned off all his music. The one thing that's missing from his entrance, if you're going to turn off his music, the other thing you need to say is, and you know what, Justin Roberts, yeah, you know, he's going to call him a name. I don't want you excitedly saying his name. Just go, Wardlow.
Yeah.
I think that could go there too. And his appointment, Wardlow.
You know what I think would make it? Let Justin Roberts do his normal enthusiastic introduction, you know, up until his opponent, and then just Wardlow.
Wardlow. I mean, MJF might have him read something else, but I mean, you get the point. You take away the pomp, the circumstance, and so forth. Kyle O'Reilly and Jungle Boy in the Owen Hart Cup qualifier. Kyle O'Reilly with the win. I don't know why, but Jungle Boy kept apologizing to Christian at the end, saying, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was glad to see this. Kyle O'Reilly in this matchup, you know, Jungle Boy, I don't think lost anything by losing. He is grouped mainly as a tag team competitor. And this, I think O'Reilly needs to win, and I don't think the loss hurts Jungle Boy. So, yeah, and it will not hurt my feelings at all if we see some type of dissension between Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and Christian. I think all three people, man, are better as single commodities.
The backstage interview with MJF saying he's got money now for the next competitor. And he says, I'm a snake, and he brings in Jake the Snake Roberts. Completely made sense. Jake should have held on to the money. What didn't make sense was Lance Archer slapping the money away and says he just wants to fight Wardlow. Yeah. Why? Why do you want to fight Wardlow? I have no idea why you want to fight.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't Jake say, dude, I'll take the money? What the last 30 seconds of that just made no damn sense.
Archer is kind of hot and cold in that company, it seems like. He's not on TV for a while. Then he comes back as, you know, a big threat. I took this to be so they can just kind of play Archer down the middle. If they want to turn him, they can do that because he's not really associated with
doing
Jake.
Anybody any favors.
And you know what also amazed me too? I did not realize how much taller Jake was than everybody he was in the shop with.
Jake's a big dude. He's a big dude. All right, let's talk about Hook and Anthony Henry. Now, Hook dominated, of course, and Tony Nese, Mark Sterling outside watching. He hit the crossface in the ring, but then Danhausen appeared and tried to curse him. It didn't make a difference. Hook locked in the red room. We got to hear Danhausen speak, and Danhausen says, you know what? If you don't want to be cursed by Danhausen, I will fight you. Hook doesn't respond. Actually, he did. Matthew, Hook made one look, and he had to look through a mountain of hair. But he looked at the camera and gave a wink and a smirk, and he just left. How
the crowd ate this up? I mean, you stop and think about it. These are two of the most beloved people as far as crowd reaction on that AEW roster. And here's what is going to be interesting. I think, let's see. What are we, mid-April now? We've got 6 weeks.
Coming up on the end.
Yeah, you can absolutely drag this thing out to the pay-per-view. I mean, so much of Danhausen's entertainment is backstage vignettes, promos, vignettes in general.
But what did I ask? I want to see him wrestle.
Yeah, you can absolutely drag this to the pay-per-view. But let me tell you this. Whenever this happens, expect reactions from the crowd similar to Rock Hogan.
Oh, get out of here!
No. You know, I'm not saying that it has the same levity of that match, but because people are so invested into these. Here's the thing: I don't know if Danhausen is fully, you know, recovered from his injury, so it might be a little bit of a lighter match. So there's going to be a lot of that, you know, reaction from the crowd. Yep, I called it. Rock Hogan 2 is going to be this match.
That statement was very, very good, but very, very stupid.
You know what? You got that down pretty good.
Yeah. Frankie Kaz in the back to call out Sammy Guevara, but was interrupted by Scorpio Sky. This is the face turn. It happened right here.
Yep. And I got to tell you, man, we talked about it, a couple of days ago.
Yep.
I did not think that stable, especially anything involving Dan Lambert, could even go there. I thought you were way. You know what? I thought that was a decision that you were making akin to that time that you drafted Dewdrop on your roster. But man, you were right. You were spot on.
So Sammy Guevara and Ty Conte are in the ring, and they turned too. They turned right inside their promo. It says, for those of you that care, and now for the most of you that don't care, I don't care. And I don't care about what you think. Why? Because my girlfriend's hotter than you? And that's just the seeds, folks. That's the beginning. There is a promo that All Ego Ethan Page cut after last Friday's match where he almost Miz-like snapped in the promo. Now, you've seen it. A lot of you guys have seen it already on the internet. I think that they got that promo at the right time, not because of the promo, because Ethan Page got 12 stitches above his eye, and that probably wasn't supposed to happen. And it was probably a missed spot, and he was pissed. So now he's going to have to keep playing that pissed off part, kind of like Miz did for a while. But, Ethan Page has 12 stitches over his eye.
Yeah, you know what? I need to find that promo. I have not seen that. I thought he had a lot of juice behind his promo last night. I think out of this whole angle we saw last night, Ethan Page was the one who came across as a star. We saw him get another gear that I have not seen him get since he's been in that company. So I think everybody's going to benefit from this. I think he's going to probably come out on top. And I'll give them credit for going ahead with this, because you stop and you think about like all the super negative reactions from crowds in the past. It's been somebody like a Cena or a Reigns initially that you just would not turn. You kept going against whatever those fans were saying.
They heard it and they reacted.
They heard it and they reacted.
Let me ask you this: is Sammy Guevara and Ty Conte playing the role of Cody and Brandy?
Yeah, I think they are quintessentially filling in for that. Here's the thing: I don't think Cody and Brandy would have fully turned like this, and I think that was part of the thing. And
you may have just hit it on the head. You may have just hit it on the head. He said there were some differences. Tony may have asked him to turn heel, and he may have said no.
And what I've noticed with Cody recently in his few weeks with the WWE, I don't think he ever could have been at the point, at one point maybe, when the company was brand new, he was the biggest baby face in the industry. But after we got what we eventually got with Cody in his relationship with the fans, I don't think he ever could have been that baby face that he currently is now in the WWE. And I think that's one thing that made it super enticing is, we can make you an absolute, baby face. And that's what he is right now.
Danielle Camilo versus Britt Baker. I asked myself real quick when they said this was an Owen Hart Cup qualifier. Danielle Camilo, the crowd's booing her heart. Oh, I know why. Because they know who's coming up next. And it was Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, in the city of Pittsburgh. She choked her out and did her move on her with a Pittsburgh Steelers glove on. Najee Harrison, I forget the other gentleman's name, joining her at ringside, coming up. Britt Baker running down the entire women's division. So just when you thought that she was a face, no, she's still a heel. And she'll be a heel once she leaves the city of Pittsburgh.
There seemed like there was a little bit where she seemed to struggle a little bit.
She's not strong on the microphone, actually.
To me, she's not flanked with Rebel and Jamie Hayter. It's a different dynamic now, and you would not think that just not having two additional people out there who were not on the mic would make a difference, but I think it did. And where she seemed to have a little bit of an issue was when she was running down the heels, running down the faces. Like that seems to be her MO. But and I say that, but also too, you got to stop and think, okay, she's in her hometown. She's seeing the amazing reaction she's getting. So whether it's stumbling with mic work or whether it's emotion, you don't know. But it was a bit different last night.
Let's talk main event. It was Darby Allin and Andrade El Idolo in the coffin match. Now, I had asked myself why Sting was not coming down to the ring with Darby. Darby moving a little bit slower. They start getting out to the crowd and start fighting, and then a guy in a Sting mask takes off his mask, and oh my God, it's Sting underneath there. Here's the problem I had with this segment. Was Sting in the match?
No.
So when Darby Allin and Andrade were fighting, they followed Sting and the other members of the Andrade family office for 2 whole minutes. They were watching, their cameras were watching that when the actual match was going on somewhere else.
Yeah. You know, I think you've probably been to some shows where there've been fights in the audience, and the cameras don't typically follow those.
No. I mean, in sports now, like baseball, football, basketball, whatever, soccer, they don't talk about people that get onto the field and streak and whatever. It's a broadcasting rule now. You do not follow it, and then they put the camera somewhere else, and they don't give that person attention on the TV anymore. I mean, think of that movie Fever Pitch. That was probably the last time that somebody jumped onto the field and got camera attention. She even got to kiss the guy before she got arrested.
Yeah, you know, if I had a wrestling promotion or a sports promotion or any promotion that was televised for that matter, streaking would be strongly encouraged, and our cameras would not shy away from it.
Fantastic. Well, Darby Allin wins. You know, they give Alex. Is that Alex? Who's the assistant? What's his assistant's name? Andrade's assistant.
That sounds
Is it
good.
Jose? No, I think it's Jose. They give him a hard time and think that he can't perform. When dude ripped off his shirt, dude's cut.
Yeah,
I mean that dude can go.
We've seen that before. You know, he's in good shape, dude. He looks good.
No, he absolutely looks amazing. So it's Jose, the assistant, by the way. But Jose took the move with the thumbtacks at the underneath the lid of the coffin, and then Darby throws Andrade into the coffin, slams it closed, and lays on top of it. Your winner of the match, Darby Allin. And for some reason, the Hardy Boys are on the stage clapping.
Yeah, that's you know what really occurred to me during the course of this, though? How is AEW, they've produced, they do well with their merch sales. How come they have not produced cough drops, man? That writes itself, doesn't it? Would you not, if you start hacking?
Would you have to hold it above your mouth and then let it just drop in?
Yeah, you probably have to go like sublingual or like a liquid or something. Like you want to do, but no, wait a minute. Cough drops are called cough drops anyway. So now you could just make a regular cough drop.
I guess, my friends. Well, that was wrestling from last night. That was Dynamite. Matthew Thomas tomorrow. We're going to break down everything coming up on Rampage. We'll also look over Impact, and we'll talk about SmackDown. See? Tomorrow morning. So for Matthew Thomas, the man they call me today, thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you tomorrow. So long, everyone.